Welcome to Rama Science World. So today I'm going to continue reading habit by learn English by reading English books. A similar pattern exists whether we are discussing individuals or generation or society. There are a set of beliefs and assumptions that shape the system and an identity behind the habits. Behavior that is incongruent with the self will not last. You may want more money, but if your identity is someone who consumes rather than creates, then you will continue to be pulled towards spending rather than earning. You may want better health, but if you continue to prioritize comfort over accomplishment, you will be drawn to relaxing rather than the training. It's hard to change your habit if you never change the underlying beliefs that led to your past behavior. You have a new goal and a new plan, but you have not changed who are you. The story of the Brian Clark, an entrepreneur from the Boulder, Colorado, provides a good example. For uh, as long as I can remember, I have chewed my fingernail, Clark told me. It started as a nervous habit when I was young, and then morphed into an undesirable grooming ritual. One day I resolved to stop chewing my nails until they grew out a habit. Through mindful willpower alone, I managed to do it. Then I Clark did something surprising. I asked my wife to schedule my first ever manicure. He said, my thought was that if I started paying to maintain my nails, I would not chew them. And it worked, but not for the moment monetary reason. What happened was the manicure made my finger look really nice for the first time. The manicurist even said that other than the chew, I had really healthy, attractive nails. Suddenly, I was proud of my fingernails. And even though that's something I had never aspired to, it made all the difference. I have never chewed my nails since, not even a single close call, and it's because I now take pride in properly caring for them. The ultimate form of intrinsic motivation is when a habit becomes a part of your identity. It is one thing to say, I am the type of person who wants this. It is something very different to say, I am the type of person who is this. The more pride you have a particular aspect of your identity, the more motivated you will be to maintain the habit associated with it. If you are proud of how your hair looks, you will develop the all sorts of habit to care for them and maintain it. If you are proud of the size of your biceps, you will make sure you never skip an upper body workout. You are proud of the scraves you night. You will be more likely to spend hours night each week. Once your pride gets involved, you will fight tooth and nail to maintain your habit. True behavior change is the identity change. You might start a habit because of motivation, but the only reason you will stick with the one is that it become part of your identity. Anyone can convince themselves to visit the gym or eat healthy once or twice, but if you don't shift the belief behind the behavior, then it is hard to stick with the long term change. Improvements are only temporary until they become part of you, who you are. The goal is not to read book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal is not to run a marathon. The goal is to become runner. The goal is not to learn an instrument. The goal is to become a musician. Your behavior are usually a reflection of your identity. What you do is an indication of the type of person you believe that you are, either consciously or unconsciously. Research have shown that once a person believes in a particular aspect of their identity, they are more likely to act in alignment with that belief. For example, people who identified as a being voter were more likely to vote than those who simply claimed voting was an action they want to perform. Similarly, the person who incorporate exercise into their identity does not have convinced themselves to train. Doing the right thing is easy. After all, when your behavior and your identity are fully aligned, you are no longer pursuing behavior change. You are simply acting like the type of person you are already believe yourself to be. Like all aspects of habit information, this is is a double-edged sword. When working for you, identity change can be powerful force for some improvement. When working against you, through identity change can be curse. Once you have adopted an identity, it can be easy to let your alignments to it impact your ability to change. So many people walk through life in cognitive slumber, blindly following the norms attached to their identity. I am terrible with direction. I am not a morning person. I am bad at remembering people's name. I am always late. I am not good with technology. I am horrible at math. So a thousand other variation. When you have repeated a story to yourself for years, it is easy to slide into these metal gloves and accept them as a fact. In time, you begin to resist certain action because that is not who I am. There is an internal pressure to maintain your self image and behave in a way that is consistent with your belief. You find whatever you way you can to avoid contradicting yourself. The more deeply a thought or action is tied to your identity, the more difficulty it is to change it. It can feel comfortable to believe what your culture believes or to do what upholds your image. Even if it's wrong, the biggest barrier to positive change at any level, individual, team, society, is identity conflict. Good habits can make rational sense, but if they conflict with your identity, you will fail to put them into action. On any given day, you may struggle with your habit because you are too busy or too tired, too overwhelmed, or hundreds of other reasons over the long run. However, the real reason you fail to stick with the habit is that your self image gets in the way. This is why can't get too attached to one version of your identity. Progress requires unlearning. So for progress requires unlearning. Become the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your belief. Becoming best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and upgrade and expanded your identity. This brings us to an important question. If your beliefs and worldview play such an important role in your behavior, where do they come from in the first place? How exactly is your identity formed, and how can you emphasize new aspect of your identity that serve you and gradually erase the pieces that hinder you? Thank you very much. So listen. read, take a book and read and record and send to your YouTube channels, send to your WhatsApp groups. So practice English reading. First practice English reading and listen English speeches, English audiobooks, English books, audiobooks. So thank you supporting.